Hey everyone, it's Dave from Dave's Ohio Barbecue. Today I am going to be reverse searing some 2-inch thick prime Tomahawk Ribeye steaks on my LG 900 pellet grill. Stick around. So if you've watched the internet or if you've seen any YouTube videos about grilling recently, you've probably seen one of these giant Tomahawk ribeye steaks. They're a big old slab of meat with the bones still attached. They've got a handle. It's like a ribeye with a handle built in. They're kind of a gimmick. I think you get charged quite a bit more just for keeping the bone on. But some people say that the bone imparts a little bit of flavor, and it's just really cool presentation-wise when you slice it up and put it on a platter. So these things are thick. Okay? These things are about 2 inches thick, and in order to get the seasoning the way I want on this, I'm going to salt these the night before. Some people call it brining. I just call it salting because it's really not brining. I like to put a little salt on there. That way the meat has time to absorb it and gets a little bit down into the tissue. If you just put the salt on the outside of the steak before you cook it, it's not really going to work its way into the meat too much. So I put this on, a good 16 hours ahead of time. I put it on the evening before I'm going to cook these, so actually almost closer to 20 hours. There's really no trimming that needs to be done with these. These were trimmed up at the butcher. The bones are clean. The fat is pretty minimal, enough to be tasty. And I don't really need to butcher them much at all. What I'm going to do today for a rub on them though, I'm going to use this Pit Patriot all-purpose seasoning. Pit Patriot is a local Ohio company that got in touch with me. Really cool company. They give 5% of their proceeds to charity for feeding people, to help veterans, things like that, to help out our first responders. So really cool company. You should check them out. I will put a link down to their website below. They have a salsa that my son and I are just crazy for. Really good stuff. I've tried a bunch of it and it's awesome. Since these are 2 inches thick, I'm going to put a pretty decent coat of the seasoning on there. I want to press it in there and get it to adhere a little bit. I do want the flavor because it's a lot of meat. And when you have this much meat, you do want to have, enough flavor to deal with it. Otherwise, it'll just taste like steak, which that's not a problem, but you do want to have a little bit of a bark on there. So at the beginning, I said I'm going to be reverse searing these. That's a real trendy thing to talk about. Basically, what reverse searing is you slowly cook the meat first to get it up to a temperature. I'm going to cook it till it's about 100 degrees internal temperature in this thing. And then once you get it up to a temperature that you like, you then crank the grill up, 600 degrees, get it as hot as you can, and you sear the outside of the steak, getting that really nice crust on it. Now, why do that? Why not just sear it and then chuck it over on a colder grill and let it just kind of get up to temperature that way? The real reason is, since you have to cook it at a lower temperature, that allows you some time to get some more flavor into there. I'm using my LG 900 pellet smoker for this. I've got some competition blend pellets in there, and I'm going to keep it at about 250, 275 for a while. Not only will that slowly bring the temperature of these steaks up, it'll also put some smoke into it, and that's the key there. If I seared this off first and then put it over there, when you sear it, it seals up the flesh. There's really not going to be much smoke that penetrates through that crust on there. So when you do the slow part first, it allows more flavor to just be absorbed into that ribeye steak. Makes it that much tastier. So at this temperature, at 275, which is what my grill's kind of hovering at right now, it's going to take a good hour. These are pretty big chunks of meat to get it up to that temperature of 100 degrees. I've got my internal temperature probe here, and I can just monitor that right on the smoker. Once it gets up to that 100, I'm going to slide them over to the side there. I'm going to open up this grill grate here. We've got on the LG 900, they've got this sear station. Basically, it lets the flame from the pellets come through and actually hit the meat, which is really cool. So I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to crank the smoker up to 600 degrees to really get it ripping hot. Once that is all heated up and running really hot, and I'm going to leave the lid open while I do this just so the other side of the grill where the steaks are doesn't get too hot. I don't want to overcook the steaks as they're sitting there. I am going to put a sear on these things, do that nice crisscross pattern, and get that nice crust formed on the outside. I'm probably going to do one at a time because these are really big steaks and the sear station isn't gigantic. So I'm going to probably do it about one at a time just to, you know, make sure I have it even and get that really, really awesome crust on it. Once you're done, you do want to let these sit 15 minutes to a half an hour, especially since it's a 2-inch piece of meat. It's going to need that. Now, I pull these off of the grill when they get about coming up to 130. 130 to 140 is a nice rare, a medium rare to medium. I like my steak medium. The reason I'm going to pull it off more in the medium rare zone is because these are so big, they have a lot of carryover temperature. It may say 130 when you take it off, but it's going to creep up when you let it rest for 15 minutes, half hour. It's going to creep up another 5-10 degrees. So if I cook it all the way to medium, when I take it off the grill, by the time I'm done, it's going to be closer to like medium well, and that's really not what I want. I really want it to stay in the medium area. All right, so I take these things, I'm going to cut them off the bone here. Oh. Man, look at how I slice this up. You can see you got that nice blush rosy color in the middle there. Really still awesome, juicy. I don't know what anyone else is going to eat for dinner, but this 4 pounds of meat is for me. Oh, good stuff. And there you have it, the basic process for reverse searing a steak. Make sure you check me out on social media. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Dave's Ohio Barbecue. Make sure you follow me on Facebook. I've got a page, just search for Dave's Ohio Barbecue on Facebook. You should be able to find it. And also make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, hit the subscription button, hit the bell. That way you get notifications anytime I make a new video. And also leave a comment if you like what I did here, or if you'd like to see me cook something else, or you just want to tell me you don't like the look of my face, whatever. Leave it down below. I respond to 99% of all comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.